Hello and welcome to the show today. I am your host and founder of Heaven to Earth, Susan Fleming, business alignment therapist, equipping kingdom leadership to multiply life without burnout. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Quick introduction of me for those of you who aren't familiar. I see a lot of familiar faces and some that are new. So I just want to do a quick introduction for you. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I am also a business alignment therapist. And people always ask, what in the world does that mean? Did you make it up? Yes, I did. But it has a twofold meaning, right? So one is that we work with the internal, being a licensed counselor, right? I have a lot of background and experience in working with the internal, the spirit, soul, and body realms. And we want to get those into alignment so that you can operate from God's rest, so that you're operating from the spirit, right? Being spirit led. So we've got to get that internal alignment first. And then the second part of that, the business part of it, is that getting you in alignment with your business. Because your business, excuse me, your business has a kingdom assignment. Did you know this? We're going to get deeper into this. But for a lot of people, this is a new thing, right? But your business has an assignment in the earth. And so we look at what is that assignment and how do I partner with it? And we operate from the inside out. So we address the inside first, right? We work on you first, and then we work on your business. And so how did I figure this out? This was a journey. My journey of inside out goes something like this. I was a perfectionist, always performing for approval. Anybody else? Maybe you don't want to raise your hand on that one. I understand. But I was determined to be the best, to be perfect, to be great at everything. I thought I had to, because of some earlier life experiences, some things that happened to me. I thought I had to perform to earn anything in life. This quickly became toxic to my body. Very quickly became toxic. And within a year of starting my online business, I hit this wall, right? Opening the business and all that entails, it was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? After 30 years, 30 plus years, I don't even know exactly, but it was over 30 years of performing, striving, trying to be perfect, trying to be good enough. My body said, we're done. We're done with this. I had burnt out. And so as we go through the next few slides, I just want you to, do an internal check of yourself and ask yourself, is this me? Do I hear my story in this? Because what I've learned is that burnout can really look different than we think it does. And it's often attributed to just the cost of doing business. So what do I mean by that? This is a statement that I used a lot. In that journey, the first few years, I used it as an excuse to not face facts, right? Just the cost of doing business. I was exhausted all the time. Well, it's just the cost of doing business, right? When you start a business, you're going to work long hours. You're going to be tired. That's just something you sacrifice, right? But as tired as I was, I couldn't sleep. Couldn't get to sleep, couldn't stay asleep. I wasn't sleeping because my brain would not turn off. It wouldn't turn off, right? I was constantly in anxiety, in this mode of thinking about what do I need to do? What didn't I get done today? What needs to be done tomorrow? It was just a constant drain, constant of mind racing. It wouldn't turn off. right? And then I also was having digestive issues. I ate very little during the day because, again, cost of doing business. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to stop and have lunch. Let me just grab something. So not only am I not eating healthy, I'm not eating enough. And then I started noticing at night, I would get these food cravings. These are all signs of burnout that taken, individually, you can kind of write it off. You can not pay attention to it. But when you put it all together, right, we see this much bigger picture of, wait a minute, all these things are connected. All of these things are connected. Headaches every day. Headaches every day. Right. And at least once a week for 15 years, migraine. It would turn into a migraine at least once a week. I was dehydrated. I didn't know it. Right. Because I was putting things in my body that were artificially stimulating me, caffeine, energy drinks, soda, things to just keep me going, not water. So I was dehydrated. I was having headaches. I'm noticing this cycle of food cravings that's sweet and salty. Is this resonating with anybody? Right? Because these are all things, like I said, taken separately, you could easily write it off as something else and not recognize that's actually a sign of burnout. So something else that people don't know is that perfectionism and anxiety are BFFs. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. Right? And this is what people see on the outside. These are all things that, people would say about me. She's a hard worker. Oh, Susan, you've got such a great work ethic. You're so organized. You're always early, right? These are all things that will be praised for in the workplace, which only reinforces to your brain that you need to keep doing it, not realizing that it's hurting you. Now, I'm not saying any of these things are bad of themselves, right? In and of themselves, but you have to ask yourself, what is my motive for doing these actions? What is my motive? Why do I think it's important to be a hard worker? Why do I want my work ethic to be recognized? Why am I so organized? Why do I think it's so important to be punctual or to be early, to go beyond expectations? Right? When I was working in corporate, I would have people um visibly stressed all around me, and I would be the calm. I would be the calm in the storm, right? At least on the outside. And people would ask me, "How are you so calm? How are you not stressed right now?" And they had no idea what was happening on the inside. Right? We've got to ask the question, what is the motive? And for me, the motive was fear. Fear of getting it wrong, fear of disappointing, fear of being judged. Fear was an underlying thing for me, right? What people didn't see was the pressure to perform. And that performance mindset with the wrong motive caused so much anxiety in me that my body was giving out, right? Anxiety was the lifestyle. It was my normal. I didn't know how to be comfortable without it. And I had no idea how bad it was until it stopped. And we'll talk more about that later. But you may be asking, okay, why are you talking about anxiety here? That's not what we're here for. We're supposed to be vision mapping. Right? Well, because anxiety is going to lead you to burnout quicker. It accelerates the burnout process in the body. And maybe you're like, well, I don't have anxiety. Right? Maybe the word you use for it is stress. Think about how many times throughout the day do you say, man, I'm just so stressed out. This is so stressful. Whatever word you use for it, right? Either way, the underlying culprit is fear. So let's touch on perfectionism for a minute, because remember I said perfectionism and anxiety are BFFs, right? That desire, that drive for me to be perfect caused so much anxiety. So what is perfectionism? The result of trying to live up to an internal ideal motivated by fear. That's key. What is the motivation? Such as worrying about how others perceive you. So, what's important about this is recognizing that the others in that sentence can be anyone, including God. I'll let you process that for a second. Because we don't think that's a bad thing. See, I didn't resonate with the label of people pleaser. When I heard people talk about being a people pleaser, I was like, no, that's not me. I didn't resonate with that at all. But I was a God pleaser. I was working for the Lord, right? I use that verse all the time. I was working for the Lord. I was trying to earn. This is what I didn't know, though, right? I was trying to earn what He had already given. I didn't understand how to work with Him. That's very different than working for Him. Because in that for state of mind, you're in a performance mindset, thinking, well, if I do this, then God will do this. If I do this, then God does this. If I pray enough, if I fast enough, if I go to church enough times, if I read my Bible every day, then He blesses me. Then He gives me the gifts. Then my business is going to be successful. If I do all these things, then He will do that for me. I know that's hard. That's hard. I was there, right? I turned it into a checklist out of obligation, checking things off the list every day. That's for. That's a for mentality, not a with mentality, because He's already freely given everything. So maybe you're wondering, why am I even talking about all this? And what does this have to do with vision mapping? Okay. This is really important because, again, going back to intention, right? Your intention guides your will. Your intention is your aim. It guides what you do, right? And remember, your will is part of your soul. So again, we have to ask the question, what is my motive? Because your motive, your motivation, right, drives how you set your intention. For and with are two very different motives, right? And I'm going to show you how this all ties into the vision mapping. We have to work on some of these pieces first to be sure that we're not mapping our own vision and our motives are pure. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If you want to learn more about me or any of my guests, all of the links are in the description below the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share it on all your social pages. Until next time, remember that you have the power to multiply life without burnout.